The point I'm trying to make here is that I think that this new gender ideology idea has brought more harm than good, and it's brought it upon people who are not even associated with it.
You fucking retarded scumbag!
I have an orientation.
Are you saying gender is new?
Yes, this whole thing about gender identity.
Daniel, can I get your age, please?
27.
Are you a Trump supporter, David? Daniel, sorry.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I am.
Why?
I voted for him 3 times.
Why though?
Because he's like the boss. He's like, the boss.
Well, president is a boss, right? That's what it means to be president. Is you're in a position.
Well, it's like policy. It's really policy.
What policy?
Immigration, foreign policy. For me, like I said, I think because as an American, I have a right to be like, I could be a single issue voter if I want. Correct?
You can. I'm just asking you your reasons. Right?
Well, I understand that, but some people, what if I'm a single issue voter? Well, what if it was only one issue that I cared about that drove me to his side?
Like what?
Well, immigration.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Why would that drive you to his side?
Because we were getting invaded.
What is an invasion?
Well, it's like when you let a lot of foreigners in, unfettered sort of immigration policy, and you're starting to be replaced.
Black power!
Who's starting to get replaced?
American citizens of all colors. That has nothing to do with race. I mean, American-born people, whether they're black, white, Latino, Middle Eastern, whatever descent they are. It's about the nationality of American, embracing American identity and American culture.
Yeah. Sure, Dan.
So if that's what you care about, then I don't know why you're a Trump supporter, given that he rejects what American culture is.
Well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. He does. Like he wanted to make the main.
Well, let me just explain why. First of all, he hates democracy, right? Every time he loses an election, right, it's him trying to illegally try to steal it. He supports political violence, right? So he pardons the violent January 6ers who tried to illegally keep him in power. He's also a rapist, right? He was held civilly liable for sexual abuse of Jean Carroll. Just the list goes on and on. I mean, just today, right? He threatened the execution of Democratic congressmen, right? I don't understand how those are American values.
Well, I would have to check your sources on that. I don't know. Do you tune into The View? Is that where you heard that?
No, I went to Truth Social and I saw Donald Trump's actual Truth Social tweet thing.
Well, these just sound like inflammatory mischaracterizations of maybe something he said. Because I know you can take an element of truth and then you add on a bunch of.
Well, let's look it up together then.
I'm not in front of a computer.
Sure, I can pull it up.
But it says, why the prompt, why are MAGA so easily offended? I disagree with that.
Well, let me give you a list of things that I have a list so far. It's a ever evolving list, right? About 17 things, but it's basically just a whole bunch of things that Trump supporters are easily offended by.
Well, I feel like one side, they get offended over a word, that one dreaded word.
Yeah, so what's your pronouns real quick, just to make sure I'm not offending you or anything?
Really? You're going to do this?
It's a trap!
Okay, so that's number 1 on the list is pronouns. The next one is drag queens. You got gay couples. You got the whole banning the burning of the American flag. You got tampons in men's restrooms, gay couples, all that stuff, whichever one you want to talk about.
Well, the drag queen thing, I don't think really many people cared until a certain segment of the United States, of the American people, wanted to make that a norm in American schools. There's no reason a drag queen should be reading to children, because the culture around drag is inherently can I say the word? I'm trying to use TikTok friendly language. Say the word
sexual, but no.
Yeah, it's inherently.
So wait, you're fine with drag queens reading at a drag story hour, not at school?
It just doesn't belong. It's just.
So it doesn't matter if it's in school or not, right? Okay, cool. So why?
Well, if it's in school, it matters because that's taxpayer funded.
But if it's in a library on Saturday and the parents are there, you don't have a problem.
Yeah, I disagree with right-wing protesters going there and harassing them. I do not.
I'm asking, do you think it's wrong? Right.
You know what? Look, No, because the parents know. The parents are present, so no. But I don't think it should be like in school.
It's definitely
I am no pervert.
not in schools. I think you can only find one case, and that was at a book fair on a Saturday at a school.
I follow libs of TikTok, and I have plenty of video footage.
Targeted attacks started when libs of TikTok, an account with more than 1 million followers, posted a News 5 story from 2019 about Akron Children's providing these services. These online threats targeted the hospital and their doctors.
Even taking this interview puts me at risk.
Rebecca Miner is a gender specialist who is one of the many caregivers around the country that has been facing harassment and online attacks. After the libs of TikTok account tweeted against a Boston and DC hospital, the FBI says both had threats of violence called in.
Showing it in schools.
They're not at schools. It's always a library. That's when well, I mean, there's other public spaces, but it's usually at a library that's booked out.
Look, I'll say this. I'm an openly bi man myself. I've been open about that for years. I don't like to fall under that queer umbrella. I'm old school LGBT. I don't know what happened to that. Somehow it's morphed into this weird thing. I don't know what it is.
A couple letters.
Well, guess what? It's negatively affecting everyone else now. We're just getting dragged into the. Well, it's just this idea of gender identity, this concept of a gender identity. Now we get dragged into it.
And I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token. You're not that smart. You're not even that conservative. You built your career on a grift that is now dead.
Look, I'm just a dude. I'm attracted to males and female. That's all it is. That's all it ever was to me. I never flew a pride flag. I never went to any of those parades or anything. It's just who I am. Most people don't even know that because I don't say it.
It's like an African American saying, "I'm just black. I never did any civil rights marches or anything like that." Like, those are two different things. Like, yeah, you're black. That's a description of you. Or you'll say, different. But there's also like, hey, listen, we have a history of oppression in this country, and there's celebration of freedom from that oppression, or there's marching in favor of stopping current oppression and stuff like that, right? That's the whole reason.
That's a
pride and pride.
Well, I don't think it's a fair comparison. I am black myself. I am black myself. I can't hide my blackness. It's apparent when people see me. It's not something I'm ashamed of. It's not something I apologize for.
But if you're walking outside with like your, if you're a man, you're walking outside with your husband or something like that, and you're gay, right? Who's going to be the people that stop you and sneer at you, right? Those are going to be like these Christian, evangelical, conservative Trump supporters, right? Those
I don't
sneer at you, and you don't want that, right?
Well, I don't deny they exist, and I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them, obviously. The point I'm trying to make here is that I think that this new gender ideology idea has brought more harm than good, and it's brought it upon people who are not even associated with it.
You fucking retarded scumbag.
I have an orientation.
Are you saying gender is new?
Yes, this whole thing about gender identity. Yes, it is very new.
You said how old are you again?
27, born in 1998.
I'm 33. It's been around long before you and I even existed.
Can I ask you a question?
You had a Roman emperor who was a trans person. Go ahead.
Well, I would have to look that up for myself. Can I ask you a question? During women's liberation and all that, do you believe that women oppressed? Women were under the heel of men. Was it based on their gender identity, or was it because they were female? Please tell me.
Both, actually. Yeah, because if they oppressed trans women too, right? Because they saw trans women generally as women in some regard, right? And they oppressed them as well. But yeah, it depends on what that person's perspective is, right? If that person takes what it means to be a woman is just like some biological function or just like some social function, right? Then they would just like I mean, it wasn't like a broad categorization. It was like individuals. Yeah, obviously, like the sufficient condition for them oppressing individuals was generally if that person was female. But you know, if that person presented as female, for example, they usually oppress them too. So it was the femininity that they were oppressing. Yeah.
You're telling me it was on the basis of gender identity and not the basis of biological.
Yeah, because what?
You dumb motherfucker!
What explains why they would also oppress femme-presenting people? whether or not they were female.
But they were treated differently. A male who believes
No,
himself
they
to, and I'm
oppressed
not
them.
anti-trans.
They oppressed them.
I don't know where you're getting this from. As far as I know, it was on the basis of being female and female alone.
So,
It was not gender identity was not a factor.
Yeah, it was.
We
I
had
can
never
tell you.
heard of such
I
a
give
thing.
you. Yeah, I did. So I saw this. I did some digging. It was like an old newspaper in New York, right? And it one of them was a transcription of a judge that was talking to this person. Now I don't know. This person was obviously assigned female at birth. But I don't know if they were a trans man. I don't know if they were like a tomboy. But what we knew is that that they wore like men's clothing, right? And at that time in New York, it was illegal. It was like 1920 something, right? So they went to jail, right? And they got arrested and they went before the judge. And the transcription, the judge was literally like, any person who wears men's clothing that's not a man is a moral pervert. That's a gender concept. Had nothing to do with well, oh, you're a woman, right? Or you're like biologically female, therefore I'm gonna oppress you. That's another type of oppression, right? They were oppressing this person's expression. Now I don't know if this person was wearing men's clothing because they wanted to get a job, because a lot of women, you know, like sometimes, like even if they weren't trans men or tomboys or anything, they would like pretend or something like that to be men just to be get a job. I don't know, it doesn't give that context, but it was illegal. This person committed a crime, which was, you know, a woman wearing men's clothing, and then they were sent to jail. In jail they were also wearing kind of like men's clothing, so he brought them back. He said, you're a moral pervert for wearing like men's clothing, and then sent her to a jail that forces the woman to wear like dresses and stuff like that, right? That's a gender concept.
A woman wearing a pantsuit back then, you're telling me they took into consideration gender identity, something that was never heard of.
Yeah,
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. What would clothes have to do with anything? Clothes aren't sexual.
It doesn't. It actually does. I'm glad you said that.
That's a gender expression.
Do you believe in self-ID?
What?
Do you believe in like the criteria to be trans? What is it? Is it just, well, I just identify as one.
What do you mean by self-ID?
Self-ID, just, if I say I am a woman, I am a woman. Do I have to have a gender dysphoria diagnosis? What is the criteria?
Self-ID doesn't mean that if you profess that you're a woman, you're a woman. That's not what self-ID
Well,
is.
that California state law says otherwise. I'm just using that as an example.
Say
California state
that
law
you're a
says
woman?
otherwise. Yes, that's how it works in California. And I'm pretty sure you've seen
Well, like, is that a legal
the
ramification?
drama
Like,
around Tish.
There's a way in which you can determine whether somebody perceives themselves as, you know, the gender identity of woman, which is to ask them, right? So that would be like, but that's the fact that they said it is not the thing that makes it true. The fact that they have that psychological disposition is the fact that what makes somebody a particular gender or not.
Well, that's not what's being upheld. For example, in the state of California, if I go there, I'm a male. If I say I'm a male, I'm a male. If I go there and say I am a woman, I am permitted to enter women's spaces.
No, you don't have to say that at all, right? You don't have to, like, you can literally be, for example, you can be a butch lesbian, and you don't have to say that I'm a man or a woman. You can go into a men's restroom. Likewise, a trans woman doesn't have to say that they're a man or a woman. They can go into a woman's restroom. That's just legal. You don't have to say anything.
Look.
You don't have to have it on your. You don't have to have it on your ID. You don't have to have it on your birth certificate. You could just go into a woman's restroom. These are like broad public and private spaces.
I understand that, but I'm talking about a loophole that seems to be being taken advantage of.
What loophole? Like, you think non-trans people are going into women's restrooms and like
well, yeah,
trying
I
to
guarantee
pretend to
they
be
are
trans?
as well.
Oh, you guarantee?
Well, yeah,
do you have
it's
reasons to believe that? Do you have like any evidence?
Well, I have news reports. I have news headlines. Yeah.
News reports.
Where's your proof? Where's the evidence?
Reports and news headlines about what?
Well, I mean, like I said, the prompt. MAGA is offended. I think MAGA are the least offended. MAGA are people that will talk to people from across the aisle. MAGA are people that will have people on the MAGA side that have differing opinions and won't automatically try to use this dehumanizing tactic, which I think is a lot of the left does.
Mainly
It's
MAGA.
a dehumanizing
mainly
tactic
MAGA.
by calling them
Ironic.
National Socialists. I can't say the actual acronym for it, National Socialists. I'll just say National Socialists. That's used as a tool to dehumanize them. You can justify it when you unalive them. That's what the left does.
Oh wait,
If we
when did I
call them
unalive
these
anyone?
things, well, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you, obviously.
So okay,
but-
so you do have a problem. So you do retract your support of Trump for calling Joe Biden a Nazi, right?
If he said that, I disavow it. All I can do is disavow it.
But you
He's
won't
a man.
retract your support of him, right?
Look, there's a lot of when you vote for these candidates, there's things you have to take. You have to take the negative. You have to take the positive. You have to weigh out the pros and the cons.
Shut when you think about it.
I know Trump is not a perfect candidate. I don't believe him to be a real Christian. I don't think I'm a real Christian myself. I'm not following the book like I should.
No shit.
However, I can admit that I don't believe in holier than thou attitudes. Like I said, I've been an openly bi man myself. However, the point that I'm making is that on the left, you talk about being offended. You had laws where you have some people being sued for calling a grown male a man.
Where is this shit?
No, they're not.
These are laws they proposed, not on the
That's
right.
not a law anywhere. That's not a
Well,
law
you could
anywhere in the
be
United
sued
States.
for harassment, or at least
Yeah,
they
you can
will
be sued
out.
for
They will,
harassment, but you can't be
they'll-
sued, or like that. No judge is gonna grant like, hey, you called somebody a man, therefore, right? That's not
airing your
like,
dirty
there's-
laundry.
There's hate crimes, for example, if you commit some sort of violation against somebody's rights in conjunction with the fact that you did it in virtue of their like gender identity or their sexuality or something like that. Then that's like elevated to like a hate crime instead of just merely a rights violation or property crime, right? But nobody's going to jail or getting fined for just calling somebody
No.
a slur or calling somebody or misgendering somebody. That's not happening.
Look, I don't know your sources. Obviously, we have.
Well, what's your
we have
source? You're the one
fundamental
that made the claim.
disagreements.
Where's your evidence?
Well, like I said, I'm not in front of a computer. I just have my cell phone in hand. This would take a little bit more time for me to research. I don't have those resources on hand at the moment.
Okay,
But
you made a lot of claims. I so far I have got no sources. You made a claim about a law in California. You made claims
Well, there
about
is.
like, yeah, the law in California. There is no law in California.
A law in
at least
California
at least
that
you can
protects-
give me one, right? It
it
doesn't say
protects-
anything.
It protects gender identity, meaning if you are a male and you say you are a woman, if someone does not let you into a typically majority female space, you can sue them for that. That does exist in California. That's California state legislature. California is a one blue party, one state.
So you're saying
Or
if
blue-
somebody doesn't permit you to with their business on the basis of sex, you can sue them? I
No,
thought
on
that
the
was a
basis of
civil rights
identity.
thing.
Males
Well,
are males.
You're doing it on the
males
basis
are
of sex.
protected. Meaning, if you
Well,
can be a
that's the
predatory
I'm sorry,
male.
that's the basis of sex, right? If you deny somebody
No, it's
your business on the basis of sex, right?
no, it's a
it has
basis of
nothing to
gender
do,
identity. That
and the service that you're doing has nothing to do with their sex, right? Then, right, that's potentially like civil rights issue.
you're a bigot. How am I a bigot? I've been.
What an asshole.
Oh,
Just stop reading the
Anyway,
comments.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
saying,
like listen, like Trump, everybody gets offended, left, right, all that stuff. Right. The problem is that when the right gets offended, it's based off dumb shit, right? Shit that has absolutely no relevance or more relevance whatsoever. I listed some of the stuff off: drag queens, gay people, bi people, right? The whole burning of the American flag, the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light situation, pronouns, right? Like you did, right?
Well,
I
it's
mean,
different.
I got a big long list there, right? So
Boy-
that's what they get offended
boycotting-
by. Yeah.
Boycotting a brand that betrays your values, you have a right to do that.
Yeah, they don't have reasons to have those values, right? Just I didn't say you don't have a right to boycott, right? That's not the issue at hand. I'm saying what they get offended by, right? A Nazi is allowed to boycott a company because they had an interracial couple in their commercial, right? That doesn't mean that they're justified in their boycott.
Okay, look, obviously we have fundamental disagreements. That's fine, but I would encourage you to, I don't know, check out Breitbart, check out Daily Wire, check out
I
Blaze
do.
Media. You'll check
These people are liars.
out Redux,
Yeah, I do.
REDUXX.
Yeah, I don't.
Check out
yeah,
J.K. Rowling's feed on X. I encourage you to look it
Yeah,
up.
I do, and she lies a lot.
Stupid fuck.
So listen, I do the like I look at right wing media. I look at right wing accounts and stuff like that. Yeah, they lie and they have bad reasoning. They don't have justified positions. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you know what? Agree to disagree, but hey, thank you for having me up. Thank you for being respectful.
Take it easy.